Welcome back to the CSIR International Convention Center in Tshwane. And of course, we're here for the Science Forum SA 2025. Already showed you some exciting things that have been brought to this particular forum for us to share in, because as we say, we're going to try and break it down so that it makes sense not only to those who work on these innovative projects, but also for the lay people like us. And you've seen already how that translates. And I must tell you, there's a lot more very, very exciting projects that we will show you later on in the show. We'll try and take a walk and see. Maybe we'll find something else this year. Not a robot to walk with us, but maybe, I believe there's a very nice innovation that also speaks to disability. And you saw in the previous crossing where astronomy for people who are blind and how they get to experience that has been so impactful. So right now, though, let's get back to, the host here this morning, and of course, what the Department of Science, Technology and Innovation has envisaged with this, and of course, many other projects. I am joined by Dr. Mlungisi, who's the Director General in the Department of Science, Technology and Innovation. Thanks so much for speaking to us. So another proud moment, a milestone, a decade of showcasing all of these wonderful innovations. What does it mean to you as the department?
No, thank you very much, Sakina, and good morning to your listeners. Obviously, this is a huge success at the back of the G20 leaders meeting. We're celebrating 10 years of hosting the Science Forum. It means a lot to us as South Africa is Africa, because again, it has given us an opportunity and a platform to showcase a true potential of Africa. And also it has demonstrated our convening power, because not only that we have been able to attract top researchers from different countries in the world, but we have seen youngsters from South Africa, from all walks of life, coming in from universities, from TVET, to come and join their supervisors, their researchers, show their innovations. And as we have just indicated, there are amazing exhibitions there which will really encourage SABC to take a walk. But also, the Science Forum has also helped us to open science to society, to the public, because this is a strive that we want to make science open. We want to make sure that the innovations that are generated by people in the townships, rural areas, get mainstreamed and get supported. But we also want the private sector to increase its investment in R&D and also utilize research and innovations that are coming out of institutions such as the CSIR, where we are. This is a truly inspirational forum that we are very happy. It's igniting conversations about science. It's making science closer to people, and that's what we want.
Indeed, it is achieving that. But in terms of the priorities for the Department of Science, Technology and Innovation, speaking to those themes, innovation and technology, what are the priorities for the department at a forum like this for advancing your key priorities?
First and foremost is to help us place science, technology and innovation at the center of government, at the center of society, the economy, at the center of education. Because we want to make sure, for instance, that on health innovation, we support our society by providing health solutions that could help elevate challenges that our people are experiencing and improving the quality of life. So there's a lot that we are doing, for instance, on vaccines development, which is one of our key priorities. And we are having institutions like BioVac that has demonstrated the capability to manufacture vaccines. But also it's critical there to promote inclusivity. We make sure that research, science responds to societal challenges, but the science itself, the scientific process itself must be seen to be inclusive. So that's critical for us. Our economy needs to be supported. So through the various initiatives that we are pursuing, we are supporting the mining sector, the agricultural sector, the manufacturing sector, but we're also focusing on the future in terms of digital economy, circular economy. And Sakina, as you know, we are experiencing huge climate change challenges. I mean, the last few days, KZN and other parts of this country have experienced floods. And this is part of the climate change. This conference is also focusing on how best to deal with climate change sustainability so that we ensure sustainability. And the people who are here, they have ideas in terms of how we can support society to respond better to climate change challenges. Those are some of our priorities as the state.
And priorities that speak to our realities. Thank you so much, Dr. Cele, because these are, of course, real-life problems and issues that we're dealing with. You know, Dr. Cele talks about the climate change, climate resilience issues in KZN, but we know we're still asking, where's summer? What has happened to the warmer months? We're still waiting on it up here in Gauteng. And I'm joined now, as I change track, to look at what's happening on the continent and also the priorities for us on the continent. And I'm joined by Professor Brando Kolo, who's the head of Science, Technology and Innovation, African Union Development Agency, NAPAD. Thanks so much for your time this morning. And perhaps, you know, to start off on a similar question, as, you know, the African continent, we all have our challenges, and we have been very adversely impacted by things such as climate change, as Dr. Cele just alluded to. So for the African continent, what would you say the priorities are when it comes to a space like science, innovation and technology?
Thank you very much for having me. For the African Union, we do have a continental document that describes Africa's aspirations based on science, technology, and innovation called CSIR 2034. In that document, agriculture, health, ICT, energy and climate, and energy and climate and environment. So these are our priorities in terms of science, technology, and innovation. And what we've seen here keys directly into that strategy. We already see Africa. Africa is moving forward in terms of STI. I'm really impressed. This is my first attendance to this event. And Africa should be proud of what's happening here, I have to say. There's a tent here right now for this event. And what we see is growth in the continent. Thank you.
And of course, you know, looking at an event like this, and one would imagine, you know, scaling something like this to the rest of the continent, because it is important that, as some of our leaders would say, we need, at times, with the collaboration is absolutely essential, but also we want our African scientists to emerge and in some instances find those African solutions for African problems.
That's correct. Well, what you see here, African scientists, so these are Africans taking full control of what's happening in the continent. It will be good to scale this beyond South Africa. And there are other African countries that have indicated interest to host science fairs of the scale. The continent is prepared to do more. From a continental point of view, AUD and NAPAD has been supporting science, technology, and innovation. And the support that we've seen here should be promoted across the continent.
And speaking of that support, because a lot of time the scientists, they need funding, you know, first and foremost. So from an AU NAPAD perspective, you know, what is being done to ensure that we don't have our scientists going around with begging bowls, you know, trying to find funding to unlock some of their great innovations?
Well, the member states are the key funders of science within the continent. We encourage the member states to spend more on science. Science has to be seen as an investment for this continent, and I do see that investment here. The member states should come and support courses like this. Our scientists should also look beyond the continent. They are looking beyond the continent, but they can do more to attract funders to the kind of science we do within the continent.
And that's my final question to you, because once we have our scientists going out to collaborate, to study elsewhere, to further their education and their studies, what are we doing as the AU and NAPAD to ensure that they actually come back and that the continent actually benefits from whatever knowledge they may have?
Well, there's a lot being done. The continental strategy on science, technology, and innovation is one way of attracting the scientific diaspora back to the continent. I'm an example. I've been outside the continent for 28 years, and they attracted me. And we can attract more talents and brains to come back and drive the narrative of science the African way. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And that, of course, Professor Brando Kolo with a Continental AU NAPAD perspective on what is happening here at the Science Forum. And this is, of course, about having conversations about the things that matter, that will make a difference, that will have an impact, not only in terms of, the socioeconomic aspects, but just generally in people's lives. And that is ultimately what science is about, making all of our lives better, Leanne. And I'm going to send it back to you, and I'm going to try and find more interesting people and things to show you here from the Science Forum SA 2025.
I have all the faith in the world. I know you're going to bring us something incredibly interesting in the next hour. Thanks, SK. Enjoy. Thanks to you and the team out there at the Science Forum.